The name Dracula evokes vampires, blood, and dark castles. But this story didn't begin with fiction. Legends of a terrifying ruler spread across Europe centuries ago. Stories of a man who inspired fear in his enemies. And inspired a legend that would last forever. High atop the cliff, a shadow watches the land. Whispers of terror spread among the villagers. This mysterious figure inspired fear and legend, but the truth is even more chilling. The vampire stories were based on a real prince, Vlad the Impaler. The shadow was not just a legend. It was Vlad III, known as Vlad the Impaler, Prince of Wallachia. A man of cunning, courage, and ruthless tactics. He stood atop the cliffs of his land, surveying the valleys below, a ruler whose presence alone could strike fear into the hearts of his enemies. Tales of bravery, battles, and unrelenting strategy would follow him across Europe. This was the real Dracula, not a vampire, but a warrior whose name would echo through history. Vlad the Impaler was more than a ruler, he was a master of strategy. Armies that dared invade Wallachia often faced his psychological genius. He turned forests into traps, rivers into barriers, and entire valleys into warnings. The most infamous of his tactics was the Forest of the Impaled. Legends say thousands were left impaled as a warning, a sight that could stop entire armies before battle even began. Vlad's enemies would tremble, and history would remember his name for centuries. Vlad the Impaler wasn't only a warrior, he was a ruler with a sharp mind. He imposed strict laws to maintain order and punish corruption. Nobles who betrayed him faced immediate consequences, while ordinary villagers learned quickly to respect his authority. His cunning extended beyond the battlefield. Spies reported on enemies, and clever strategies kept Wallachia safe from invaders. Vlad's rule was harsh, yet effective, ensuring that his people survived in a turbulent world. Vlad the Impaler wasn't only a warrior, he was a ruler with a sharp mind. He imposed strict laws to maintain order and punish corruption. Nobles who betrayed him faced immediate consequences, while ordinary villagers learned quickly to respect his authority. His cunning extended beyond the battlefield. Spies reported on enemies, and clever strategies kept Wallachia safe from invaders. Vlad's rule was harsh, yet effective, ensuring that his people survived in a turbulent world. Vlad the Impaler faced the might of the Ottoman Empire with unparalleled cunning. Using forests, rivers, and the terrain to his advantage, he ambushed larger armies with precision. Night attacks, surprise raids, and clever positioning allowed his smaller forces to strike fear into invaders. Tales of his victories spread across Europe, cementing his reputation as a ruler who combined bravery with ruthless strategy. No one underestimated Vlad. Vlad the Impaler didn't just fight battles. He waged psychological warfare. Armies that dared invade Wallachia often faced his terrifying warning, the Forest of the Impaled. Thousands of stakes lined the paths, a sight so chilling it could turn soldiers back before the first clash. Vlad watched from above, armored and commanding, knowing that fear itself was a weapon. His reputation spread across Europe, and his enemies learned that facing Vlad was more than a battle. It was a nightmare. As Vlad the Impaler's reign continued, his name became known across Europe. He ruled with a firm hand, balancing fear with loyalty. Villages flourished under his protection, and enemies learned that betrayal carried a deadly price. Diplomacy and strategy ensured Wallachia survived amidst powerful neighbors. Over time, stories of his bravery and ruthless justice blended into myth. The line between the man and the legend blurred, leaving a name, Dracula, that would echo for centuries. Vlad the Impaler's reign eventually came to an end. The details of his death remain shrouded in mystery, with some saying he fell in battle, others that he was betrayed. His body was lost to history, but his legend survived. Wallachia faced new rulers, yet Vlad's memory remained vivid in the minds of those who feared and respected him. Even in death, his name carried power, a reminder of a ruler who commanded loyalty and terror alike. After Vlad the Impaler's death, his legend grew beyond Wallachia. Tales of his bravery, ruthlessness, and cunning spread across Europe, inspiring fear and fascination alike. Writers and storytellers transformed the historical prince into a vampire myth, Dracula. The line between fact and fiction blurred, and his name became synonymous with terror and dark legend. Even centuries later, the world remembers Vlad not just as a ruler, but as a symbol of fear, strategy, and power. Centuries after Vlad's death, his name became synonymous with fear and darkness. Stories of the Impaler merged with folklore, inspiring tales of vampires who drank the blood of the living. Writers across Europe took inspiration, crafting the Dracula myth we know today. Vlad the Impaler transformed into a symbol, both historical and legendary, a figure who embodies strategy, terror, and immortality in stories. The line between man and monster blurred forever. In 1897, Bram Stoker introduced the world to Dracula, a vampire inspired in part by Vlad the Impaler. The historical prince's ruthlessness, cunning, and terrifying reputation became the foundation for a literary legend. From novels to films, Vlad's name became synonymous with vampires, immortality, and fear. The real man and the fictional monster intertwined, ensuring that Vlad's legacy would live on in both history and imagination. Over the years, Dracula has become a global icon. Movies, television, video games, and literature have all drawn inspiration from Vlad the Impaler's legendary reputation. From classic horror films to modern adaptations, the image of Dracula as a cunning, immortal vampire continues to captivate audiences. Vlad's real history merged with fiction, ensuring that his influence spans centuries and remains a staple of pop culture today. The legend of Dracula transcended borders, inspiring fear and fascination around the world. From Europe to the Americas and Asia, Vlad the Impaler's story evolved into countless adaptations. Each culture added its own twist. Movies, books, games, and folklore all transformed Vlad into the immortal vampire icon we know today. His legacy endures, a blend of history and myth that resonates globally. Today, Dracula is everywhere, in films, video games, comic books, and novels. Vlad the Impaler's terrifying legacy inspired countless adaptations, from classic horror films to animated adventures and modern action games. His story continues to captivate audiences worldwide, proving that legends never die. The man behind the myth lives on through every portrayal of Dracula, reminding us how history can become timeless storytelling. Vlad the Impaler left a mark that time could not erase. His fierce leadership, strategic mind, and terrifying reputation became legend, inspiring stories, myths, and the Dracula icon. From history books to films, games, and folklore, Vlad's influence resonates across centuries. He reminds us that history and myth are intertwined, and a single figure can shape imagination for generations. Vlad the Impaler, a ruler, a symbol, and an enduring legend.
Like and subscribe, or Dracula might visit your nightmares tonight.